Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Combating Cancer. I'm your host, Gwen Kelly, and if you're tuning in for the first time, hi there, it's so nice to have you here. A little bit about me is that I was diagnosed with stage 3 astrocytoma brain cancer at 19 years old, and the reason why I created this platform is simple. I wanted to build a safe, honest space for people going through active treatment, in remission, or grieving the loss of a loved one, a space where we can share our experiences and support one another. Today, I want to share some of the key things that helped me throughout my cancer journey, specifically during chemotherapy, radiation, and basically everything in between. These are small but meaningful habits and mindsets that made a huge difference for me, and I hope that they might help someone else out there too. Now, I'll be honest, my story is a little bit unconventional. For those of you who don't know me personally, I actually continued lifting weights, working, and I even finished school early while undergoing treatment. It really wasn't easy, but I made it work in my own way. So let's get into it. These are some of the tips and tricks that helped me get through the toughest parts of cancer treatment and honestly the toughest parts of my life. One of the biggest things I learned right away into my entire journey with cancer was keeping a positive mindset. And let me be really clear here, that doesn't mean I was positive every day. There were days I felt devastated, confused, and completely lost, and I was also very angry. I didn't know how to process the fact that I had cancer, but at a certain point, I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to be a victim. I didn't want cancer to define me or take over my identity. I didn't want to be the girl that has cancer. I just wanted to live, and that shift in my mindset became the foundation for everything else. And every single day, I made an effort to get up around 8:30 in the morning, and some days, yes, I was nauseous or wiped out from treatment and just laid in bed, but even on those days, waking up at a consistent time really helped me maintain a sense of control and normalcy. So I think it's really important to keep a routine, whether that's getting up every single day and having a cup of coffee or making your favorite breakfast. It's just important to be able to look forward to something. Because when you're going through treatment, you experience all these different whirlwinds of not knowing what to expect, and there's only so many things that you can control. So you can control when you get up, you can control making your bed, you can control doing your laundry, keeping a clean space. It's just about having those little habits of things that you can control when everything else in your life is so uncontrollable. Another thing that really benefited me was practicing gratitude and prayer. So each morning, I also took the time to pray and express my gratitude. I would do this in the mornings and at the end of the night. And I'd like to thank my body for what it could still do, like move, walk, and function. After my surgery, they didn't know if I was going to be able to have mobility of the left side of my body. And at first, it was a little bit difficult for me to walk, and I had to really push myself to be able to get full functionality back. And I was so fortunate that God protected me through the entire time I was under anesthesia and was going through surgery, and that He let me come out on the other side and have barely any symptoms. So I would always give thanks to that. And even on my hardest days, I tried to find something, however small, to be thankful for. And that shift in focus made a big difference for me mentally. Also, another thing, and this one might surprise people, but I went to the gym almost every single day during radiation and chemo, whether I wanted to or not. And funny enough, I was actually powerlifting at the time. So that means I was lifting weights that I couldn't even believe. And I do like to joke to this day that I had chemo strength. There would be times where I'd be in the gym and I wouldn't know how I'd be lifting that amount of weight because I had never competitively lifted before. But seriously, having a goal outside of cancer helped me redirect my focus, and physically it helped me sweat out what I saw as the toxins being pumped into my body. Working out also boosted my serotonin and gave me a mental break from everything else. It was that hour to 2 hours that I was just focusing on what I could do for myself, and I wasn't thinking about cancer at all. And there would be times where I'd run into the bathroom mid-workout and vomit, or I'd go sit on the floor because I didn't want anyone to know I was struggling. Sometimes my dad would come, knock on the door about 20 minutes after I was in there, and he's like, "Hey, are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine. And then I'd come right back out and I'd keep going. It wasn't pretty, but it was definitely very empowering for me to do that. Also, another thing that I did after my workouts or before my workouts was I would use a sauna. And I was very fortunate that my parents had a sauna in their house, and I used it every single day for about an hour. And the heat really helped me sweat, but it was also really hard on me. For those of you who are unfamiliar, after brain surgery, sometimes you can struggle with temperature regulation and heat sensitivity. And especially living in Minnesota, for all my Minnesotans out there listening, we all know that the weather's very unpredictable, but sitting in the sauna became a way to gradually adapt and build resilience, even when it was uncomfortable. So I was almost like prepping my body for all of the temperature changes that was going on. Another thing that I did was journaling, even if it was just for a little bit at a time. I wrote something every single day, even if it was just like a line or two that said, "This day really stunk," or "I threw up today." It helped me process and organize the chaos in my mind without needing to write a novel. It's also nice to look back when you're done with treatment and just kind of see the progression, because I did notice that at first I was writing some really self-deprecating things just about my appearance or how I was feeling, or I would sometimes see that I was like jealous of other people being able to live a normal life. And then it was nice to see all of the progression that in turn happened, where it was like, okay, I feel good. Like today was a really nice day. I did X, Y, and Z. I'm feeling pretty today. My hair's starting to grow back in. Oh, I have bangs today. Like I got good news at the doctor's. It was a really good appointment. So it was really nice to see that even though it started off rough, it gradually got better. And also, staying social and planning fun was huge for me too. And I kept doing the things I loved. I made plans with friends, I attended family events, and gave myself permission to cancel if I wasn't feeling well. I still wanted to be perceived as living a normal life, and more importantly, I wanted to live a normal life. Even if I had to leave early or skip something, just having something to look forward to really helped a lot, because it gave me the reminder that I wasn't putting my life on pause for cancer, that I was still actively doing everything in my power to continue to live my life. So what's my biggest takeaway here? I mean, my biggest piece of advice is the one thread that ties all of this together is try to live as normally as possible, even when everything feels anything but normal. It's kind of a fake it till you make it situation. You know, you're fighting for your life. You're counting down the days until treatment ends. You're waiting to ring that bell, waiting to hear if your scans are clear. And in the middle of all that, you just try to hold on to whatever pieces of your old life you can and build a new one at the same time. You have to mourn the life you lost, but also appreciate the life you're still living, because even in the middle of the pain, there are moments of joy, strength, light, happiness, laughter. And when you're finally on the other side of treatment, you can look back and say, I made it through one day at a time, even on the bad days, especially on the bad days. Don't take those small wins for granted. If you had one good day out of 20, hold on to that. That one good day means another one is possible. And that's all I wanted to share today, just some insights and habits that help me. And I hope at least one part of this helps someone else who's out there struggling. And if you know someone who might benefit from this episode, please feel free to share it. And as always, my door is open. If you or someone you know want to come on and share their story, if you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please don't hesitate to reach out. So that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll talk to you all next Wednesday.